Well, I put a spotlight on Ben Carson on Media Buzz this week because he had a very newsworthy, shall we say, diplomatically interview with CNN's Chris Cuomo, and took a lot of heat over that because in the course of that interview, Ben Carson, presidential candidate, former neurosurgeon, and a guy who has won a lot of respect among a lot of Republicans, even it may be in part because he's not a politician. But when Chris Cuomo asked him about same-sex marriage, he started out by saying it should be left to the states, which is what a lot of Republicans believe. But then he went on from there to say that homosexuality is a choice, which is a very controversial position, one that Ben Carson basically introduced into the conversation. And he tried to prove this by saying, well, some men go into prison, they're straight, and when they come out of prison, they're gay, and that just set off a firestorm. And then Ben Carson tried to blame it on CNN for editing the interview, except it turned out, while it was a 25-minute interview, edited down to 7 minutes, that whole section on homosexuality in prisons wasn't edited at all, and finally Ben Carson ended up apologizing. So I got some email, and here's one from David in Tennessee, who says Ben Carson was right the first time. Homosexuality is a choice, period. You don't like that because you're just another hellbound heathen liberal. Well, this upset me because I really thought maybe I could avoid going to hell. I am actually not either a liberal or conservative. I'm a journalist who tries to play it down the middle. And I didn't take a position on this question. I will say that most scientists who have looked at this, and certainly the American Psychological Association, says that homosexuality is not a choice. A lot of people think it's genetic. I'll grant that it's a controversy, and I understand that a lot of people think that it is sinful and wrong, certainly according to the Bible. And I understand that there are many Americans who believe that it is a choice. They're not running for president. Ben Carson is. If Ben Carson wants to campaign on saying that homosexuality is a choice and we should look down on it in an era when now, 37 states are permitting gay marriage, then that's his privilege to do so. But notice that he backed off. He backed off in face of criticism, and he said, I don't know what causes people to pursue certain kinds of sexuality, and he deeply regretted bringing it up. So I think I'm just a messenger here, trying to fairly present it. We played what Ben Carson said. We played his comments taking on CNN and on Sean Hannity's radio show, and then we read his apology and put it up on the screen. So you want to make it about me? Be my guest. But when you run for president, you may think a lot of things, but you've got to decide what you want to campaign on. And one of the things I think Ben Carson is slowly learning, because he's made some other incendiary statements, is you can get yourself in a lot of trouble by taking a very aggressive approach to some of these social issues. You're entitled to believe whatever you want to believe, and you're entitled to say whatever you want to say, but there may be political consequences.